Hi everyone, apologies for the no sound at the start of this video. I was on a quick phone call and that explains why I kind of muted the sound. But I've took a trade on AUD USD. As you can see, we popped a BD arrow outside of the zone. Okay, we can see the RSI has turned red, which signifies markets are overbought, and it's actually been overbought for quite a while. And as you can see now, we're slowly starting to pull down. And I'm pretty sure if I go over to the higher time frames, let's just have a quick look on the 1 hour. Okay, pop this to the side like this. Okay, there's a slight resistance area at this level, but nothing too major. We're still very bullish, as you can see here, very bullish on the 1 hour charts. But then going down to the 1 hour charts, we can see that the price is turning slightly, and this is where I would say binary comes more into the element of things, because you can capture this small pullback now. You wouldn't take this trade on Forex because obviously it's clearly against the trend, but with binary, 5-10 minute expiry is perfectly fine. Anything longer than that, then it'd be clearly against the trend. So once that's done, okay, I'm going to show you how well the binary trade has performed today, and then we will do some free price action training. I will show you a neat little strategy using support and resistance, using a moving average, and I will basically teach you how to trade support and resistance and price action too. So just wait for these trades to come in. As you can see, we've only just dipped into the money because it obviously, like I said, it's against the trend still. So the market's still bullish at this time, but like we see here, I've managed to get some nice wins just in there as well. So I'll get rid of this here, okay, and I'll show you just how well this is AUD USD on the 1 minute charts, okay, and we'll go over some trades today. You can see here, okay, we had a nice setup here, even though the RSI hadn't turned red. Okay, you can see 1 2 3 4 5 would be a nice sell trade there for 5 minute expiry. Another one here, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, another one here, 1 2 3 4 5. All, just remember, all these are against the trend, so just be mindful of that. Let's have a look at GPUSD. Okay, so we'll go back and see how well GPUSD's. In fact, was it GPUSD that I think it was? Let me just have a quick. I got a beautiful, and I mean beautiful sell buy on. No, it wasn't. It was. Let me just get rid of this. We'll go back to the 1 minute charts. Okay, we've got a nice setup here. Okay, again, look at the slight pullback we can capture there. Okay, I think it was. Let me just show you. Okay, we've got another sell here. Look at that again. Nice one. Nice here. We can see the RSI is turned red, and then we've got a nice sell trade there. A nice buy trade here. Look again, notice how the RSI is turned red. We got a nice buy signal there. I think it might have been AUD. Look at that. Notice how it's starting to pull back. Beautiful. That was a beautiful sell there. Let me just have a look on the 1 hour charts. No, it wasn't the 1 hour charts. Might have been USD JPY. Let's see how well that's been performing today. Again, 1 minute charts. We haven't had many signals. Okay, we've got a setup here. That's a loss. You can see that. Okay, price pulled against us on here, so that would have been a loss. This one would be a beautiful winner. Okay, this one here would be a winner, and then again this one here, going for that V-shaped pattern. You notice how the moving average comes outside of the, I say moving average, the TCA line comes out of the zone, and we kind of form this V-shape pattern here. This kind of, we have a push down like that and then a push back up like this. Okay, it's almost like a V-shape. You can see how price then continues to go sideways like this. So pop a nice signal there. I wonder if it's the 1 hour charts. Let's just have a look at the 1 hour charts. I had this beautiful buy trade, and I mean beautiful buy trade. No, it wasn't none of these. Look at these small sells and buys on the 1 hour charts on USD JPY. It might have been, okay, this is Euro USD. Okay, straight off the bat, we can see a beautiful buy there. Again, look at that V-shaped pattern with the TCA line coming outside the zone. Okay, you can see there. We go back. Okay, we got a nice one at the top here as well. Let me just bring that here. Look at that again. Look at that V-shaped pattern with the TCA line coming out. That's a nice one there. Another one here. I think that would have been a slight loss actually. Yeah, that would have been a loss, but it looks like that's around news. So where is that? Ha, here it is. Here it is. Right, so look at EURUSD on the 1 hour charts, right? This, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Be the arrow with the trend, always delivers. And as you can see here, okay, let me just zoom out here. Okay, you can see that big upwards move. Okay, just this is what's good about the 7.0 now is the zones. Okay, the zones don't longer repaint. Okay, so you can see that push up here. Okay, price pushed up, then it's pulled back. We popped this signal, RSI turned red, symbolizing the market was oversold, and again just ride the trend up. You know, this, if I was to say to my members, you know, the kind of setups you want to be patient for, you want to look for, is setups like this. Now, even though here, you know, we have got a couple of sells, and, you know, if you were using maybe a open stop loss, okay, you know, you still could have got easily 34 pips, you know, or even at the bottom here. Okay, let me just get rid of all this. The bottom here, we had a nice little buy there. You see this here, this little arrow? Okay, again, you know, they're good setups, but this here, you know, icing on the cake, clearly with the trend, you know, RSI oversold, you know, and again, you know, you could lock in almost, well, in fact, you could ride this up to the previous resistance line at the top here, you know, getting around 60 pips, you know, and with these kind of setups with the trend, you know, you can use an extremely tight stop loss, you know. For instance, you can have something like, let's say, a 20 pip stop loss, which is around here, you know, and you're targeting around 60 pips, you know, that's almost a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio, meaning you're risking 1% to make 3% of your account. So, you know, just if you're patient, look for these kind of setups. So USD CAD on the 1 minute charts, let's see how well that's been formed. Okay, we've got a slight, in fact, to be truthful with these setups, okay, that's a loss and that's a loss, and this one is also a loss. There's only really one setup I would probably take out of all of this, and that's this one here, only because the RSI has turned red here. You know, these two haven't turned red, you know, so that's why I say these are risky. You know, I always say wait for the RSI to confirm it's oversold before entering a buy. You can see price is turning back now, but if you're taking this on binary, this one would be a loss. Again here, you know, this is where we're playing the whole risky trade. You know, the RSI hasn't turned red yet, but, you know, it is what it is. You can either take that or you can leave it and be patient, okay? You know, we'll go back here and I'll find your setups like this, okay, you know, 1 2 3 4 5. This is what I tend to look for. Okay, I'd probably enter this and lose it, and I'd probably enter again on this one and win it. So 1 2 3 4 5, and that would be a nice winner. Again here, 1 2 3 4 5, again, that's a nice winner. Don't know what happened with this market gap here. I'll try and find you again. Look here, okay, 1 2 3 4 5, that one might have been a slight loss, but look at the candles here. Okay, I probably would avoid trading this, to be honest, because look at these candlesticks. You know, when you get something like this, you know, you really do not want to be trading those kind of setups. Right, so what I'm going to do, everyone, is I'm going to pause the video now. We're going to do some price action trading. I'll show you a neat little strategy, and then I'll give you some homework to set for this weekend. So yes, I'll pause the video, set my charts up, and I'll be back. Okay, right, so right in front of me, I have EURUSD set up on the 1 hour chart. So I'm going to talk about support and resistance and trend lines. Now, in this video, we're actually going to be talking about trend lines, and I want to show you how we can use these as entry points onto the markets. Now, I don't normally trade trend lines. It's something I tend to avoid because I'm a reversal trader. I trade bounces off support and resistance, and I use the binary destroyer as my confirmation to enter the markets. Now, trend trading is an extremely profitable way of trading, especially when you're trading Forex, okay? Because the idea of Forex is the more pips we make, the more money we make. So we want to be trading with the trend, okay? Now, what I've got on front of me is a simple 50 EMA moving average. Okay, now we use these moving averages as ideas and confirmations on a trend in the market. Okay, that is pretty much it. Okay, and they also act as active resistance and support areas. Okay, so the idea of the 50 is, you know, pretty simple. Okay, you look at the 50 like this, and you can, let me just turn that to a different color so you can actually see it. I'll turn it to purple. Okay, so as you get the idea, if the price is below the 50, it's a downtrend. When price is above the 50, it's an uptrend. Okay, when, you know, you've got price kind of zigzagging like you know, like this, for instance, okay, in and out, that's telling me price is consolidating, it's going sideways, which it pretty much is. Okay, you can see price was below the moving average, which obviously, like I just said, downtrend. Then you can see price chopped around for a bit, went sideways, and then it's gone back below the moving average to symbolize a downtrend. So that's all we're using the moving averages for, as downtrends. Okay, now a really good way to spot a trend change happening is by looking at moving averages, looking at trend lines and support and resistance. Okay, so what is a trend line? Okay, well, a trend line is basically an invisible line that we draw on our charts for price to, you know, that price reacts of it. Let me find you a good example. Okay, here's one here, right? So I'm just going to draw this one here. Okay, and this is live as it's happening. Okay, so something like this. Okay, you notice how we've got a number of touches from this trend line. Okay, you got one touch here, one touch here, and we've also got a false breakout here. You notice if I actually let me just zoom in on this actual chart here. Okay, and you can actually probably get a better look of what is happening. Okay, so I'll draw that again. Okay, it's not, like I said, it's not going to be perfect. Okay, it's drawing trend lines, support and resistance hasn't really got to be perfect, because I like to draw areas of support and resistance rather than lines, because, you know, unless you're an artist, you're not going to draw lines perfectly every time. So you get the idea here. Okay, so you can see here we've got a number of touches. Okay, now that's telling me what? Okay, what's it telling me? It's telling me that price is making higher lows. So you can see here we have a trend up, a pull down, a trend up, and as you can see, it's creating higher lows. Okay, you can see one here. So this low is higher. Then we got this touch here, which is higher, and then this touch here, which is higher. Okay, so all along we are creating higher highs, which symbolizes an uptrend. So this is a upwards trend line slope. Okay, now a really good confirmation on when price is going to reverse is when we actually break below this trend line and stay below it. So something like this is a false move. Let me just get rid of this here. Okay, so this, if I just draw that line again. Okay, let me just pause the video and I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, apologies for that, I'm back now. So a move like this, you notice how we've got a big red candle and then a big green candle. This is actually called a false move. So it's tricking a lot of traders to think sell the market because we've actually broke below the trend line. And in fact, what's actually happened is we've just gone straight back up. Okay, now a move like this is not a sign to enter the market. Okay, this is where a lot of beginners would enter here and get this kind of idea that sell, and we ended up losing. Okay, so what you want to actually do is see a clear break of this trend line. Okay, now trend lines happen in all the times. Every time you've got a trend, an uptrend or downtrend, you'll have some kind of move. Okay, I mean, you could even, the best way to do it is to zoom out like this. Okay, and you start to spot these moves here. Okay, like I said, they've not got to be perfect. Okay, but you can see another example of one here. Okay, now what we want to do here, okay, is this is what we want to look for. Okay, you notice how we have a clear trend line, so you can see a touch, another touch here, and also a touch here. But notice this one. Okay, we actually have a break and retest of a trend line. Okay, and if we draw a resistance line here, okay, you can see here we've got support okay, price breaks the trend line and then retouches the trend line and the support. So this is what we're looking for, a clear break of a trend line. Okay, now these happen everywhere. Okay, you know, you can draw these everywhere, and this is where we enter the market for a buy. These are called swing trading moves, and the easiest way to trade these is on the higher charts. Okay, the higher time frames. Okay, these are swing traders moves. Okay, you can see them all every single where. Okay, here's another one here. Okay, this is the sort of stuff we look for. Okay, is when we see a clear break of a trend line. So you can see here, touch. Okay, I always say you need a minimum 3 or 4 touches as a trend line, as a valid trend line. Okay, so you can see here we had a valid 4 touches, and you notice how we actually break below and we stay below, we pull back. Okay, and now look where the price here pulled back. It pulled right back to this resistance area or support area. Okay, if I just draw this all the way here, okay, you can see that support area here, touch here. Okay, again, we have a break of a trend line, a pull back to the support area, and then we break below. So this move here is a swing trader's move. Okay, so this is basically swing trading on the higher time frames. Now going back to this setup here, okay, let's draw all of the trend lines that we see at this time here. Okay, well, you know, we've got one here. Okay, we've also you can do them at the top as well. Okay, like I said, don't have to be at the top or bottom. Okay, you can see a channel forming here. Okay, I'm going to draw a resistance. Let me just draw an area here. Okay, I'm going to draw an area of resistance at the top here, like this, because the reason being is because we've got a rejection here. We've got a few rejections at this level. Okay, now this kind of move, okay, is telling me right now, okay, if you want my honest opinion, I can see Euro USD coming down. Okay, the reason why I say that is because if you actually look, okay, first of all, we've got a trend line forming, so we are still going higher, but we're not actually going higher because look at the previous high. Okay, this was the previous high here, this is the high here, and price looks to be struggling at this level here. Now, this does not mean sell. I will only see a sell when I actually see a break below this trend line here. When I actually see a clear break, a kind of small pullback, and then I would sell, and ride it down. Okay, now you've got to be patient when we're swing trading here. But the good thing about swing trading is we can capture some large moves. Okay, some large moves. Okay, I've just quickly noticed another trend line here. Okay, again, going back to the scenario, 3 points of contact, even 4 points of contact. Remember, got to be a minimum 3 or 4 points. This is 1 point, this is 2 point, this is 3 point, this is 4 point. Okay, we see a clear break, but that does not mean that when we've got a clear break like this, that it's a sign to sell or buy the market, because like this example here, okay, I've drawn the trend line differently on this one, but it doesn't matter where it is roughly. Okay, we just want to see a clear break. Okay, so for this example here, okay, even though we're broke above it, okay, we want to pull back. Excuse me, can I just pause let me take this phone call. Okay, apologies for that, I had to take a phone call. So what was I saying? Yes, so what we want to do is see an actual break, pullback, and as you can see here, we had a break of this trend line here. Okay, so you can see here, break and retest of this trend line. Now, like I said, when drawing these support and resistance trend lines, you're never going to get it perfect every single time. Okay, that's not the idea. Okay, you know, you haven't got to be an artist by going, look at me, I'm drawing my trend lines perfectly. You know, you should always draw it at the wicks, you should draw it at the body. And when I mean by draw it at the wicks and body, I mean, you know, do you draw it at the wick, give me an example. Do you draw it at the wick here, or do you actually draw it at the body? Okay, so this is, you know, a lot of traders will say you draw at the wick. Some traders will say you draw it at the body. Okay, the point is here, okay, you just want to see a clear like this. Okay, I mean, you can give this for example, okay, or you can draw it here. Okay, it doesn't really matter. The idea is we want to see a clear break of this area. Okay, the reason being is because we want to see the price going lower than the previous lows, because at the minute, you know, price is going higher, price is going higher, price is going higher. So I want to see a clear break, okay, maybe a pullback to this area and then a drop, and we'd sell it around here. So yeah, okay, as you can see here, going over, you know, if you just actually break down Euro USD as it's happening right now, okay, you can see that area here, okay, you can see, look, we're forming like a double top pattern, okay. If we actually bring the RSI up into play, okay, get rid of these here, you can actually see a perfect kind of, a perfect divergence. Okay, you can see a double top here with diversions. Now you actually see this better on the 5-minute charts. You know, you actually go there and see, okay, we're seeing this kind of pattern. And again, remember what I said about using the moving average. We're still in an uptrend. So if we start breaking below this 50 moving average, okay, then it'd be a sign to sell the market, because like I said, you know, when we're above the moving average, it's an uptrend. When it goes below the moving average, it's a downtrend. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Okay, you know, using the moving averages as a confirmation of a trend change happening. Now, going back to this method and strategy, it's a swings trading strategy. Okay, we're swing trading here, so you know, you got to be patient, but the reward is big moves, big pips, big profits. So yes, what you want to be doing over the weekend is getting a simulator on MetaTrader 4, getting a simulator in, getting some charts, and just sitting down and practice and practice and practice. So when the markets do open again Sunday night, you can start to spot these patterns and you can start to kind of trade these live. So yes, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do have any questions, drop me an email, thebinarydestroyer@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.